The battle for a home in a Melbourne suburb. For Louise Goode, after more than 25 years of devotion to this house, it is being ripped apart in minutes.
I told you! Stop!
It is simply too much for Louise to take.
Stop! 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 What does it take? Please! Society, come to my aid! Please! Please! Step up! Speak out, please! I need people to care! Because I care! I care with all my soul!
The reprieve is only temporary. Before long, the demolition resumes.
Stop! Stop! Stop!
But nothing Louise does can stop this. Her fight to stay here has been chronicled for more than a year by photojournalist Sean Davey. Her connection to this house goes back decades. There's a complex history to this place she called home. On this day, she could only watch as the walls came down. Attempts to sway the police went nowhere.
So I have provided you with a move on direction. If you fail to move on, we will charge you criminally, which I don't want to do.
For Louise, her home of a quarter century is no more.
And then I just push it here.
And now we're home.
Yes.
Weeks earlier, Louise had shown us how she was living in this house. So this is every day?
Every day. This is my reality.
She moved in the 1990s. Back then, it was owned by a public housing co-op. As a member, Louise had a lease and paid subsidized rent to live here alone.
And it is my home. This is all I know.
This version has no power, no water, no heat, and few walls. So you're living here now without anything?
No utilities, nothing.
Scrunching around? It's a far cry from Louise's first years here as a founding member of a co-op for single women and mothers.
It was empowering. You were making decisions, you were responsible, and when you are responsible for something, you care about it.
Her dedication to this home involves peeling back layer after layer, starting with her childhood. Louise is a forgotten Australian. Her ward file tells the story of her and her brother, raised mostly in children's homes and in the foster system. She has only a few pictures of her mother, who struggled to care for her two children.
Sadly, I don't know much about her. I would like very much to find out more about her side of the family. And I don't know much about my father. I just met him once.
Louise's last year here was captured long after the legal battles for this house had ended. In a contested change to the home's status, ownership was transferred from the co-op to Victoria's largest housing association, Common Equity Housing Limited, in 2008. 8 years later, the housing association sought to evict her for not paying rent. She eventually lost a 5-year battle that went all the way to the Court of Appeal in the Supreme Court of Victoria.
Breaking into someone's house in the middle of the night!
In the end, Louise was legally evicted twice, and the house was sold to a private buyer. This is body cam footage of the second eviction 3 years ago.
Do you want me to grab something for you?
She had moved back in months after she was first forced to vacate the home.
I think they're great how they really...
No, they make me smile, because if I had...
The next years weren't easy. Louise relied on friends, and during COVID lockdowns, she obtained emergency accommodation in motels. And against all odds, she never stopped believing she'd return to her former home.
I'm in awe of her strength to keep at it, because it's correct. I'm in awe that while we're all around saying you should take anything they offer, or you must do this, it's not time to lie down, I think no.
Adding to the complexity of Louise's story is the fact that she's not technically homeless.
So I just come here from Thornbury. I've been carting my remaining belongings on the bus.
She's been provided with a transitional semi-detached housing unit in a suburb about 10 kilometers away. This is essentially what was your life in Thornbury, in the house in Thornbury, and it's been all moved into here.
Boxed up and moved here because I was forced.
Louise doesn't believe this unit can ever be home, and she knows to some that sounds ungrateful.
People may think, oh, I've been given something, but it's a furphy, it's not addressing what I'm dealing with, which is I should never have been made homeless.
And so Louise remained defiant.
Yeah, I'm really noticing the cold.
About a year and a half ago, she moved back in to a home slated for demolition.
For many people I know in Thornbury, Louise never left. Obviously, Louise still today always has a chat with people and exchanges information and exchanges ideas. So, yeah, it was very much a focal point of the community here.
With winter approaching, the nights were not easy. Dinner for the cats was prepared in the dark.
And it is harder and harder. I'm just subsisting.
There was no heat as the temperature dropped to 8 degrees.
Because it's so cold, I have to sleep in my clothes.
When you first came into this house and made it your home, had you been in a situation like that before, where you had...
Never. It was the first time of having a sense of belonging, something that belonged to me, but most important, gave me connection to belonging to within society.
And she said staying here became about something bigger.
My life needs to be as important as the lives of all the rich people that don't have to worry about the cold, who can just turn on the heater and not worry about the bills. My life has to be important as theirs.
But eventually, the day Louise dreaded came. The house demolished, her belongings gathered up. Now she faces a future without the place for so many years she called home.